Hi everyone, it's Miss Hempel. I'm creating this video to show rounding decimals using a number line. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually use a number line to round whole numbers, just to get you to understand what exactly we're doing. Okay, so let's say I have the number 137. So let's say I want to round this to the nearest 100. If I show this on a number line, I'm going to draw my number line. I'm going to say what hundreds is this number in between. So we're looking at the hundreds place. So I know that the number 137 is between the numbers 100 and 200. Okay, so I want to round to the nearest hundreds place. So I actually have to look at the tens place. So I'm going to divide my line into 10 pieces. And it's easier if you cut it in half first and then 4 lines. Okay, so this is going to be, I'm just going to write 10, but this is really 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 70, 180, 190, and then 200. Okay, so I'm going to plot this number on this number line. I'm going to plot this at 130. Now, I know that technically the number is at 137, which would be over here, okay? But the reason that we only need to look at the tens place is because that's actually insignificant. If it's over here, it's still going to be closer to 100, okay? It's such a small amount that it actually doesn't matter. We only have to look at the tens place, okay? So this number rounds to 100. And this is pretty much common sense if you think about it. 137 you would definitely say is closer to 100. Okay, but this number line just helps us see that it actually is closer. If this is the middle, 50 is the middle, all right, 30 is definitely closer to 130, excuse me, is closer to 100 than it is to 200. Okay? All right, so let's try another one. Okay, so I have the same number, 137, but this time I'm going to round it to the nearest 10. All right, so the first thing I have to do, just like before, is figure out what tens is this number between. So we start with 130 and end with 140. Okay, so this is my tens place. So 137 is between 130 and 140. Okay, so now start to think in your head, where is 137 going to be on this number line? Closer to 140 or closer to 130? Start thinking about that. Okay, and now we'll actually show it. So I'm going to, again, split this in half. All right, and now notice, every time I'm dividing my number line into 10 equal parts. The reason is whenever you move to the next decimal place, we're dividing by 10. So this is going to be 131. I'm just going to actually put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10, which is 140. Okay, so this is really 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136, okay? So we're going to plot at 137. This is our middle. All right, so 137 is clearly closer to 140. So 137 rounded to the nearest 10 is 140. All right, so now we are going to start rounding decimals using the same method. So I have this number 137 and 5/10, and I want to round it to the nearest whole number. That's the same thing as saying to the nearest ones place. Okay, the whole number is anything before the decimal point or to the left of the decimal point. So really we're talking about to the nearest ones. So again, the first thing we do is say, what two whole numbers is this between? 137.5 is between 137 and 138. Okay, where is 137.5 on this number line? Okay, so I'm going to break it up into 10 again. And when we break it up into 10, we're moving to the next decimal place to the right. So if we have the ones place and we break it up into 10 pieces, that's the tenths place. So each of these dashes represents 1/10. So this is 137 and 1/10, 137 and 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, and 9/10. Now I'm going to plot my point, which is 137.5. Now what you're going to notice here is that 137.5 is exactly in the middle of 137 and 138. So the question is, which number is it closer to? That's what we mean when we're rounding. So it's technically the same distance from 137 and 138. But the rule is, when it's right in the middle, we always round up. So we're going to round this to 138. Okay, so whenever it's right in the middle, you always round up. So 137.5 rounded to the nearest whole number is 138. Okay, my new number is 137 and 51/100ths. And I want to round this to the nearest tenth. So we're looking at this place value. So we ask ourselves, what tenths is this between? Well, this is between 137 and 5/10 and 137 and 6/10. Okay, we're going to break up our number line into 10 equal parts. They're almost equal, not perfect. That's okay, it's a sketch. Okay, and now again, if we break our tenths into 10 equal pieces, each of these represents 1/100th. So this one right here would be, I'm going to write 0.51, 0.52, 0.53, 0.54, 0.55, 0.56, 0.57, 0.58, 0.59. Okay, so really, this is 137.51, 137.52, 137.53, etc. Okay, so I'm going to plot my point, which is 137.51. Well, that would go right here. And clearly we can see that that is closest to 137.5. All right, so that is our correct answer. Now, I really want to point out, a lot of us have learned little rhymes and things like that to round numbers, and we always say, look to the right. If it's 5 or more, you round up. If it's less than 5, you round down. So really, this is what we're doing. We're looking at the place value to the right. Okay, if it's less than 5, which would be here, the hundredths place. If our hundredths is less than 5, then that means we round down. If it's 5 or more over here, then we would round up. So really all we're saying is that it's closer to this tenth when it's less than 5, and it's closer to this tenth when it's greater than 5. Okay? I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, please ask me in class. Bye.